Welcome to the Podcast Profits Unleashed podcast on Mintwave Radio and all podcast platforms. If you're a coach, consultant, therapist or healer with an online program and would like to find out how to grow your business whilst having fun podcasting, go to podcastprofitsunleashed.com/free. Let's dive into today's episode.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Karen Roberts, helping coaches and experts design, create, launch, and grow their podcast to turn it into a sales machine. Now, today, I'm going to be talking about the difference between knowing versus doing and how we can do more of the things that we know we should be doing. There are three very dangerous words for your business, and they are, I know that. Just because we know something doesn't mean we are doing it. I was frustrated when I launched my podcast. My business wasn't growing as fast as I wanted it to. My podcast wasn't really growing yet. But I wasn't doing the things that I knew I should be doing. Why? I was busy behind the scenes, but I wasn't being visible enough. Why? I've been in the online space since 2017. I knew better than this. When I first started working as a coach, selling other people's programs, I started with an online education company, helping people transition to entrepreneurship by selling high-ticket affiliate programs using social media and email marketing. Now, the training really consisted of similar advice that when I was a coach for a company that was selling high ticket offers that help network marketers grow their business online. Because the strategies are the same for anybody who wants to grow their business online or grow their podcast. Number one, you need to grow your audience daily. Number two, you need to build influence within that audience. And number three, you need to be putting offers out. You need to ask for the sale daily. So I knew that's what I needed to be doing. Everybody knows that's what they need to be doing. So why aren't they doing it? That's because knowing and doing are two completely separate things. We have our conscious part of our mind and our unconscious part of the mind. And what we know is in our conscious mind. This is where we originate ideas, we can mull things over. This is where our critical thinking lies, yet the majority of what we actually do is unconscious. We tend to habitually go about our day. We think we're thinking, but are we really? Because what we think affects how we feel, and what we feel manifests through us as actions and behaviors. And it's our daily consistent actions and behaviors that get us our results. If we don't feel good about taking a particular action, then our mind wants to keep us safe. So unconsciously, we may put things off, even if we want the result that taking the action will give us. It's crazy. Our minds can work against us. So what I came to realize was that I was in my own way. For me, learning how to get out of my own way was when things shifted for me. Now, when I speak to clients, they also know instinctively what their challenges are. They're simply not doing enough to stay visible. They're not doing the things that they know they should be doing. Many come to realize that, okay, it's me, I'm stopping myself. A lot of people may be aware that they are sabotaging in some way, maybe not consciously, possibly unconsciously, but step one is being aware of it. Step two is then accepting it. And then step three is what can you do to shift it so that you can get out of your own way and allow the whole process to flow. This all starts with being conscious. I'm not talking about being in a meditative state. You're not looking for something out there, but actually being here in this body, in this moment, in the now. You can be more productive because this is the work. It all starts with the internal, inner work. If we are unconsciously putting things off, avoiding doing the work that we know we should be doing, then we need to find a way to change how we feel about doing it. Because when we feel good, we take action. When we're not feeling good, we can find every excuse under the sun not to take action. You already know that if you want to increase your downloads or get more clients, that means that every day you need to grow your audience. I personally choose LinkedIn as my main platform or Facebook, but I will send out at least 15 requests every day on LinkedIn. No attached, no emotion attached to the task, and I send them out to my target audience. But I also need to build influence within that audience. So video is a great way to do this. I might share a bit of my podcast every day, a short form video snippet of it. Or I might stream the whole episode. Or I might create a LinkedIn article and embed the episode in the article and add the YouTube video at the end. Every day, I will either add a testimonial or a review of my podcast. And also every day, I will put out an offer, whether that's to my low ticket £99 offer for guest appearances on podcasts to help get you crystal clear on your system origin story. Or twice a week, I may put out my higher ticket offer, which is our full setup and launch program. Now, this doesn't actually take very long. An hour a day, because everything's been prepped in advance, maximum. It's not difficult to do, yet many people overthink it, procrastinate about doing it, get distracted, and simply avoid doing it. Let's go back to the mind for a moment. As I said, the conscious part of the mind, the thinking part, where you originate the ideas or decide whether that's the right idea for you, which is great. We need that part of the mind when it's used as a tool because we need to plan and prep. But depending on our programming, some things need to be decided whether they resonate with us or not. And if it's something completely new, then there is going to be a disconnect in the beginning because the conscious and the unconscious, I believe that we're told that we've got to be conscious and that's what we need to focus on. Whereas the unconscious part of the mind, which is almost like the warehouse of the mind, this is where our habits lie, our experiences, our beliefs. And a belief is just a thought you keep thinking, right? And repetitive thoughts become a belief. And quite often we attract things that confirm that belief, but that's a whole other thing. That's just down to our perception and what we're attracting. Now, also here lie our memories, but they're more linked with a strong emotion because you're not going to remember a Tuesday afternoon at 3 o'clock if nothing really happened, unless something happened that invoked a strong feeling, good or bad. So our unconscious mind is linked to how we feel. The thoughts can come from outside of us, right? Maybe something we saw on Facebook or read in a newspaper or YouTube or TikTok. Some thoughts come in and we can use our critical thinking to decide whether we're going to accept it or not. And then other times it just actually goes into our unconscious without that taking effect. So it's almost like we've got this software, not hardware, but we have the ability to upgrade our software if it's not serving us, because it's only an accumulation of our past experiences. I call it our ego software that is running in the background every single day, and it's affecting the things that we do, and it's affecting the things that we don't do. We can have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and over 90% of those can be the same thoughts that we had yesterday. So it really is a program that is running. Now, this might be good in some areas, it might be working for us, but in other areas, it might be hindering us. In some areas where we know what we should be doing and we're not doing it, it's not working for us. And because of this program, this is why some people just find it so difficult to change, because maybe they're not aware. that there is this resistance to change at the end of the day. So if we're told we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day running in the background, we're all going about our day almost like zombies. We've got this ego software running in the background and it wants to keep us safe and it doesn't care about our results. Our bodies in general, they're always looking at ways to save energy. And so actually be alert, fully conscious in the present moment, that actually takes up a lot of energy. And even though it actually does recharge us, if we're not used to it in the beginning, it's like our phones. We can switch it to low power mode to save the battery life. We have the same thing in our bodies, but it's unconscious. They can temporarily reduce the background activity to keep going. But we might need to change that. We need to upgrade our software. We need to be doing something consistently because this is how we learn. This is how things become habits through spaced repetition. It's like when you read a book, you might read it the first time, and then the second time you think, I don't remember that being there. That may be because your body almost shut down and you drifted off somewhere and you didn't absorb that information. Or even we can do it in conversation. We don't mean to do it because it can be rude. But if there's a conversation and the subject matter doesn't necessarily resonate with you or it doesn't serve you, unconsciously, we can actually switch off. So the way I see things is we have this other part of our unconscious mind, which is what I call the hardware, our main operating system. And thankfully, it's going on throughout our day and it's running our whole lives because this is a good thing because it breathes for us, it pumps our heart, it does all the gazillion cellular exchanges that happen all day, every day, breaking down old cells, clearing out the debris, fighting bacteria every second of the day. And thankfully, we're not involved in this. We get out of the way because we wouldn't be able to remember all the processes. So this operating system, our default operating system, is doing it whilst we sleep. So we trust it for the important things like keeping us alive. Why don't we trust it when it comes to our decision making or taking action on our business? Everything we need for us to be successful is within us. We have this operating system working perfectly, but we get in its way. We have an endless supply of energy, but we tend to leak it everywhere because we don't tend to be in the present moment. We're operating on autopilot. As I said, 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, that sometimes we're running over something that happened in the past, or even worse, worrying or stressing about a future situation, which is crazy because it's an imagined future. So we need to somehow turn it off, get out of our heads and simply do the work, trust the process, and we will get results. If we have our day planned using our conscious part of our mind, and we can block off specific time slots throughout our day to get these unnegotiable tasks done that need to be done if you want to grow your business, grow your podcast, but then also spend some time doing something that gets us out of our heads. We need to spend some time unthinking, focusing on feeling good. And then when we feel good, that's when we take action. So then we use the conscious critical part of the mind to prep everything in advance. Then we take time out of our day to specifically unthink and trust our operating system, whether that's with breath work, meditation, whether that's putting music on, have a dance, whatever you can do to get out of your head and unthink and find a way to feel good, and then go and do the tasks. So if you can find a way to dance between those three, thinking, unthinking, and taking action, you will get results. Give it a go. Because what holds us back is quite often the fear of judgment. This was definitely one of the ones for me. But here's the thing. No one is judging you. They're scrolling. And also, quite frankly, they don't pay your bills. If you are crystal clear on what it is that you need to do every day, you're crystal clear on your offers and that you're happy to put them out there. Look, just because you think that everybody knows what you do, trust me, they don't. And if you do this consistently, day in, day out, over the course of a month, not everybody is going to see every post that you put out because the algorithm doesn't work that way. Throughout the month, some people might see a couple of videos, the odd review or testimonial. And then when they see an offer that is the right fit for them at the right time, they will come to you. Being consistent with this is absolutely key. And taking any emotion out of it, find a way to become detached from the outcome and don't take the action if you're not feeling good. So find a way to feel good. As I've said, I love to put a bit of music on, might do a bit of a micro workout, then go and take action. All you need to do is get out of your head, get out of your own way and trust your operating system, which works perfectly. And then you will get these tasks done. You'll close the gap between knowing and doing. These are small steps to take every single day. A simple story about what you're doing that day, a testimonial or a review, a video, and a call to action. If you don't think you have the time, then that's just a story. That's your mind trying to keep you safe because you might not feel comfortable about putting yourself out there, about being visible. But if you have a podcast, you already have so much content there ready to be used on social media. You can create a blog post from it. You can create short form videos. You get to use this every single day. This is how it's going to grow. If you've got reviews on your podcast, just take a screenshot and you create a post about it. This is all third-party verification. And over time, your target audience, if they continuously see the odd post from you, the right people will come. So it only needs to take 1 hour every single day. Everybody can find an hour a day. Now, if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, come and have a chat. If you don't feel like you've got the time to create the assets from your podcast, then we can do it for you so that you can simply copy and paste. You need to be doing something every day to build your business. You need to be seen, you need to be heard. So go ahead, do the work, trust the process, and you'll get results. I hope you got something from this episode. Next week, I have the lovely Hilary DeCesar with me as a guest. So I will see you then. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to today's episode on the Podcast Profits Unleashed podcast. If you're a coach, consultant, therapist, or healer who would like to drive sales whilst having fun podcasting, head over to podcastprofitsunleashed.com/free and find out how you can turn your podcast into a sales machine. We'll see you on the next episode.